What's going on, guys? Scorsy from Game Legit bringing you Battlefield 3. It's a conquest game. You're going to be able to get some jet gameplay. But the main point of this commentary is to address a lot of the issues I've found thus far. And I want to talk about it. I want to see what you guys have to say about it. And the thing I like to see, and you guys do a pretty good job at, especially those, who subscribe to me and follow the Gaming Legit videos, is that you leave your comments and your opinions like crazy. And I absolutely love that. And I want the same type of thing for this video. And so a lot of the stuff I pull up you might disagree with. I want to hear your guys' point of view and your perspective. And so point it out. Put it in the comment. And if you like someone's comment and you think that somebody else wants to see it, like it. Thumb it up so the rest of the community and the people on GL can see it. The first thing I want to talk about is DICE's inability to create new game variants. And I want you guys to really think about this, because people constantly bash Call of Duty, and reasonably so. I mean, I understand why you guys bash Call of Duty because, they've been producing a lot of imbalanced crap over and over and over again. And the biggest argument is that it's the same game over and over and over, and I even made a point about it. But after talking to a lot of my friends, I've kind of somewhat changed my opinion, but at the same time, kind of stick with the roots of where I was coming from. Where I'm going with this is that Call of Duty's always pinned for being the same thing over and over and over again, but here we got a brand new engine, we got jets, a whole bunch of new vehicles, beautiful new graphics. The sound is so immersive. It's a fantastic. It's got the footing to be the best game on Xbox Live, but they only offer 3 game variants, and it's the same modes we've played over and over and over again. Rush, Conquest, and then maybe if you want to, Team Deathmatch, but this game's not built for Team Deathmatches. It's really built for those objective gameplays. So really, you only have 2 game variants. And then some of you are going to be like, well, you can play Squad Rush. That's not another variant. It's just a smaller version of a variant that already exists. What if they created a CTF game? Imagine, for those of you that actually played Halo, and those of you that played Halo 1, Capture the Flag is one of the funnest game types to ever be created for a video game because it's always different. There's so much more to it other than just capturing points. You have to take a flag and be able to get it back to your face, or to your base. And in that effort, it's always different. There's always tons of things going in, big plays. Imagine what that would have been like for Battlefield. With the scale of the map. I mean, the flag would have traveled miles versus a tiny difference. And that could have been a huge difference between Battlefield's Capture the Flag versus a smaller. And yes, there would have to be some kind of adjustments or fixes for the game because it probably wouldn't work right off the start and it would be super unbalanced. I know all of that, but why didn't they even conceive or try to bring in alternate game types? They stuck with the game types that they invented I don't even know how many years ago, because I jumped on for Bad Company 2, and those game variants probably existed way before, and I don't even know that. But that, I don't know, that really bugs me. And if you're a Battlefield fan, you completely ignore it, and you probably haven't even looked at it. But you instantly gravitate towards bashing Call of Duty for repeating itself. But every single new Battlefield, or Call of Duty game rather, that comes out, they have some new game type that's really fun. And there's no arguing that. I could care less what you think about the game, but Wager Mode and all of those game variants that came, like Sticks and Stones and all those fun game variants, where they weren't so much hardcore MLG-based game variants, but they were super fun, and they're fun to play. Black Ops played like shit, and I'm not going to argue against that. I sold my copy of Black Ops very, very quickly. I do enjoy Call of Duty, but Black Ops had issues. But the whole point is that they came up with new game variants, and they're doing the same thing for Modern Warfare 3, and they've been doing that since Call of Duty 4. And people kind of ignore that, but that's what makes the games fun. Is every single time a new game comes out, you have some kind of new game mode, something new in the framework of what you're used to. That is fun. And Battlefield 3 and DICE kind of screwed up on that, in my opinion, because they didn't invent any new game types, and it's kind of lazy to me. Yet they came up with a new engine, and even on the new engine, I want to get on this too. The destructibility in Bad Company 2 was a lot better than in this game. More often than not, you'll shoot a wall that is supposed to be destructible, but it doesn't explode. And I remember when this game was coming in, and I heard a couple trailers. I read a couple things that the new engine allowed complete destructibility on all maps. Every single element in the game with this new engine was destructible, but it's not the case. It's not the case at all. I find that they lessen the amount of objects that are actually destructible. Do you guys remember the map White Pass for Bad Company 2? From the start of the map to the end of the map looked completely different. At the end of the map, it looked like there was just a war on that map. Oftentimes in this game, because, you know, even on these city maps, these big urban cities where you're by these giant buildings, all you can do is destroy the surface of some of the walls on those buildings. You can't bring down any... I haven't brought down a single building in this game yet. It just hasn't happened. It hasn't lined up. It wasn't in the cards. But in Bad Company 2, the ways the map were built and the arrangement of the buildings, you've brought buildings on top of guys all the time. But it's not happening in this game. And I don't know if they just cut that out because they didn't think the engine would be able to handle it with the scope of these maps. Because they're huge if you think about the size of these maps. When you're in the jet, like, it is crazy how big these maps are for how high you can go. The whole 3D global mapping of the size of the maps is probably the largest online maps that you'll experience on Xbox Live. You know, maybe that's overshooting it a little bit, but the destructibility in this game is it's lacking. It's not the same experience as what it was for me in Bad Company 2. I'm curious to what your guys' opinions on those first two things are. First, the game modes. Are you guys bored of these games? Because this, honestly, the title of this video for myself, so I knew what this video was called in my file indexing and recording this video, was Conquest Jet Gameplay. Boring in all caps. Check out the leaderboards at the end of this. I leave it up for quite a chunk of time, and I do that on purpose. I want you to look at the scores of this game. This is Conquest on Caspian border, right? And this map is infamous for you get 2 jets off the spawn. There's also choppers and tanks going on. But the top guys on both teams, out of 24 players, the top number of kills were 4. 4 kills in a 20-minute game, guys. 4 kills in a 20-minute game. That is not fun. That is boring. That is so boring. Flying the jet, yes, that's fun. But walking your character around to different conquest points and watching that time elapse and then points go up on your screen, that's not enough for me. I need to be getting kills. And there's some balance issues with this game where there should be so much more than only 4 kills on the leaderboards. And this isn't like every once in a while and then I just happen to be in a bad lobby where 24 players were all bad. This is on a regular basis, and multiple people that I play with all kind of lock onto this and address this at the same time. I'm going to break up the rant for just a moment. I'm going to give you some actual strategy with the jet that I'm using. I unlocked the heat seekers, and I was using those for a while, but what I find to be more useful is just to use the minigun. And the reason being is if you use your heat seekers, it beeps on their plane, on their screen, on their TV, for any vehicle that you're locking onto. So if you're flying a jet and you hear the beep, 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 beep on your jet, you know that there's a guy behind you, tailing you, and he's trying to lock on and shoot you with the missiles. And even if you shoot the missiles, it's just going to set off the flares, and you're not going to be able to shoot down the vehicle, and you have to do it again. It's much quicker to shoot with the minigun, and the nice thing about the minigun, or whatever it is on the plane, the machine gun, whatever, they don't know where you are. They don't know that you're even behind them. And so by the time they figure out that they're taking damage, they're going to be dead, and they can't avoid you. As soon as they start hearing the beeping from you trying to lock on, they're already doing twists and turns and trying to get away from you. You're much better off just using the minigun. And that kind of brings into the next thing. It's probably the last thing I'm going to be able to talk about on top of all of the issues that I'm finding with this game. And I wish I could talk more in detail about all these issues. And I know I'm kind of coming off as a hater. I do enjoy this game. I will be playing this game for a long time, but it definitely has its issues, and there's no reason not to address them. The second thing I want to talk about is the severe unbalanced nature of the ranking system as far as the vehicles go. It took me a long time to be able to get to the point to where I can compete against the other people in the vehicles. I'm level 20. I've already got a friend that's a level 45 or something like that now. It's absolutely unreal. When I get into a chopper, I'm screwed. If I'm in a jet, I can actually compete because I happen to rank up my jet. But for those of you that are still starting out on your jet, or you haven't had the opportunity to fly a jet, because you got to remember, you have 12 teammates and everybody's gunning to get into the jet. If you don't have flares or some of the stealth options or some of the unlocks for the jet, man, it's so hard for you to even compete or even be in the same airspace as someone that has the unlocks. My buddy, for instance, has ability to lock onto vehicles faster with his heat seekers, which make the heat seekers vastly more viable for me. I don't use them because they take too long to lock on. So when I get that unlocked for my jet, it's actually probably going to come back into use. So if I'm playing against him, or anybody playing against him, you're going to be locked on instantly upon getting up into the air, and several times. There's no way you're going to be able to get around it. His jet also has unlocked the ability to put out its own fire, and so if you do drop a hell or disable his vehicle, he can put on an extinguisher or something like that, and it puts out the fire, and he can fly his vehicle again. It puts it to like 51% health, and he can continue to fly. And so you actually have to do more than just down him. It makes it very hard to kill him. So if you're just starting out and you go against him, there's absolutely nothing you can do to compete against him. And it's the same way with the choppers too. And the only way to catch up to him is to just put in those endless hours just to be able to compete against these guys in these vehicles, because they've had the opportunity to put more time into the game than you have. So comment on that too, what you guys think about that. Pay attention to the score, as I noted before. I want you to look at everybody's score on the scoreboard. I pull it up. I mean, just a boring game, man. The top kills on the other team, 4 kills. The top player on their team had 4 kills. Top guy on their leaderboard, 3. Top guy on our team, 4 kills. Or no, 5 kills. My bad. He had 5 kills, guys. And it's just absolutely unreal. Anyways, I'm going to link you to the previous video. As always, guys, subscribe. If you want, I've been starting to post a lot more details for game news on my Facebook, statistics and stuff like that I'm finding across the web. And so please add facebook.com/gaminglegit. Otherwise, I'll catch you guys later.